Well, and now I've got monitoring. It's Brian Blaine. I'm back. I cannot believe. I used to do this every week, and it was kind of getting automatic. But I have to say, it's was a very nice to take a break because it is quite the stress-inducing exercise, and every time I kind of figure out one aspect of this going live business, I end up deciding I want to do something different, and then I just complicate my life all over again. And as you will note, this time I'm a multi-screen, I'm multi-camera, I'm multi-screen. I have better sound, and I don't know if I'll get into it with some of these tunes, but I've even got the synthesizer linked up here. We are happening. How's everybody doing? Hanging in there on the pandemic? Man, oh man. It's this is wearing thin. And I was a guy that was pretty damn self-isolated myself. Joel could vouch for that, eh? Wouldn't you vouch for that, Joel?
Yeah, I vouch for that. I vouch.
I'm glad. I just wanted to hear your voice. My boy
I'm right
Joel,
here.
he's coming to us from Mississauga right now, and he's got this new toy, and I asked him to just create a few visuals to liven up the show a little bit, so it's just not old Brian Blaine singing tunes. And I got the guitar nice and close up, so anybody that wants to figure out how I'm doing it, as if, I'm the guy with the cowboy chords and the capo, and I seem to manage pretty well with that. I said I was going to have a theme for this session, and I think it's going to be songs I wrote about musicians I've known and loved. And some I've known better than others. I say one of these I don't know, and her name is Loreena McKennitt. I'm going to start with this one. And Loreena is a Canadian folk icon. Everybody loves what she's been doing. And she started out busking. I was reminded at a little birthday Zoom last night that she started out busking down at the St. Lawrence Market, just playing for a pass the hat kind of situation. She had a Celtic harp that she would play. I wonder if she was even singing then. She might have been just doing instrumental stuff there on the street. And that career exploded, because she was in the right place at the right time. She was a fabulous musician. She was really able to take that music to the world, and in fact ended up touring the world and she would put together big bands. I remember Brian Hughes was playing guitar with her for a long time. My friend, the dearly departed Kiki Masumi, actually had a round with Loreena playing cello in her group, and I think some other musicians I've known, and I wrote a song at the time that she had. The word was out that Loreena has had a tragedy in her life, and she's out of music, and she's hung up her harp, and I thought that was horrible. Mind you, it's perfectly understandable. She was grieving, but in the midst of that, I decided I was going to write a tune to try to maybe encourage her to keep up the music. And not that she ever heard it, not that anybody ever heard it, because I wrote the tune, and it was epic. If I'm the guy that doesn't do intros or bridges very much in my tunes, but this time I actually had created a song that had a tempo change in the middle of it. It had a few interesting features to it that I don't usually bring out. And then we recorded it it was the gang from Downchild. It was Fonfara and Gary Kendall, Mike Fitzpatrick, and we and some other musicians too, and we laid it down. And I remember it was like I said, tempo changes and other arrangement stuff, but we laid it down. We recorded it. And in the midst of that, I don't know if I played it for some friends, but a few of those were mutual friends of Loreena McKennitt, and people that were close to her and knew her well. And two of them separately came up to me and said, Brian, Loreena would not be happy about a song, about what she's going through. And, I kind of respected that. And we never mixed the song. I put it on the shelf and then forgot about it. For what's it been? 20 years, 25 years. And if you don't know the story, she was engaged to this fellow, and I think right before maybe they were about to be married, he was out and with his friends, and he drowned in Georgian Bay, and it was a tragedy. And I kind of now came upon a scrap of lyrics, a sheet with some lyrics on it, and I thought, I'm going to revisit this story because, I don't know. I just like writing songs about musicians. She was just a street musician, busking on the square. Then she got famous, she was touring everywhere. She loved to play, but didn't want to be a star. Poor sad angel, never meant to fly that far. Loreena, don't put down your harp. It's a true musician's story, and I think it's time to tell how a waif became a princess in a tragic fairy tale. Prince Charming lost and drowned in Georgian Bay, so deep and dark, broke her spirit, broke her heart. But Loreena, don't put down your harp. Verse. An independent artist who would not be pushed around. Just ask the Warner Brothers how she stood and held her ground. She changed the music business, at least she made a start. Tough businesswoman, and she could really play the part. But Loreena, don't put down your harp. Loreena, don't put down your harp. Ah, great to get the flat pick out. my fingers, I used to go to a nail technician all the time, at least once a month, and I had nice hard nails and they could dig in, and I was getting used to playing that way. And now, for a year, no nail technician. And the nails, I'm sure the nails are happier about this, without having that whatever it is they put on your nails to harden them. I'm sure it's not good. It probably seeps into your system. But now I've just gotten used to playing with the fingertips, and it's a softer sound, but that's okay. What else can we talk about? Well, let's just play another song. Does anybody remember Scott Cushnie, Professor Piano? Beautiful cat. And I learned a song. I'm now telling the whole story of the song before I tell the songs, but maybe it bears repeating anyway. But back in Quebec, when I was pretty young, there was only one radio station that had any kind of blues on it. And I was listening one time and I heard a song about New Orleans. And it caught my ear right away, and I flipped on my tape recorder. I think I might have missed the beginning, the first verse or a little bit of it, but I recorded the song off the radio. They never said who it was. It was a French CBC station, I think, and they never said who the artist was or anything, but I had that tape now, and I went ahead and learned that song. And I played it at gigs, and it was in my repertoire, and I didn't ever have a clue where it came from. I never heard it again. And I then arrived in Toronto, fast forward, 15 years or something like that. And when I got to Toronto and was playing with a group called Blue Willow, one of the girls knew the song, and she knew who wrote it. And she even at one point we were playing at Albert's Hall, I guess, and that's the Brunswick House. And she said, "Scott Cushnie's here. That's the guy that wrote that song about New Orleans." And well, I'll just pick it up with the song from there. But here's what I did. I tried to write a song about Scott Cushnie because he's passed away now, and we had gotten pretty tight, and we'd done a lot of gigs together, and I wanted to write a song, and I had this story, but musically, I was not finding the groove. I was not really finding, usually the words and music come together kind of at the same time for me. And this time it wasn't happening. So I had this radical idea that I would take the music from his tune, which was called, what was it called? Well, anyway, I'm going to lower that a little bit. I took this tune and I put my words to the music Scott had written on the song that I had been playing all those years. I hope you approve, Scotty. Scott Cushnie wrote this melody a long time ago. I heard it back in Sherbrooke on a radio show. Who knew one day we'd be playing together on the road in lousy weather, where he told me stories about the golden days. It was years till I knew it was Scott who wrote Bourbon Street. Till a friend at Albert's Hall said, "Brian, there's someone you should meet." And I ran into Scott in the washroom, told him I'd been singing his tune, And before long we were doing gigs downtown. And to hear the prof talk about how Young Street rocked, and the center of attention was a man called the Hawk. And when he heard Scott and Robbie's band, he extended his hand. The story goes Ron wanted Scott, but not the whole band. Pete Traynor and Robbie Robertson stood to lose their left hand. But then Scott was in and out of Ronnie's band. Pete Traynor's name became a brand, and we all know Robbie Robertson did okay. And to hear the prof talk about how Young Street rocked, and the center of attention was a man called the Hawk. And when he heard Scott and Robbie's band, he extended his hand. There we go. Put that up a little bit. The Ballad of Scott Cushnie. What a story that was. You know, Scott was off at this time of year walking on the Danforth and slipped and fell and was knocked unconscious. And I guess he had no ID on him or anything. An ambulance happened to be driving by. It was a blizzard, as I recall, too. And this ambulance saw him lying on the sidewalk, picked him up, rushed him to the emergency. He was in the hospital in a coma for a few days and then passed away. And he was like a John Doe. They didn't know who he was. And I guess they might have done some investigations looking for people who had gone missing. And sure enough, a family had reported their uncle missing. And so they had the family member, a distant family member, come in. I guess he was this fellow was separated from his family. And anyway, some relative came to the hospital or the morgue and identified Scott as being this other person who they thought had gone missing and was now departed. And in a comedy of errors, which should still be resolved somehow, because this shouldn't have been allowed to happen, but he was buried under another name in a cemetery. A funeral was held, and relatives came out and got to pay their respects, their last respects. And fast forward like a couple of months, I think, when all of a sudden, missing guy just shows up. He walks into his brother's office. Hi, I've been traveling around or whatever, and he'd been totally out of touch. Well, his whole family had a heart attack, a collective heart attack there, and couldn't believe what had happened. And now they still don't know who the body is. So I don't know. I think at that time, I guess, Scott now had been reported as missing. And they did a little investigation, some forensics, whatever they had to do. They disinterred the body, or they exhumed the body, I think is the term, and they did the DNA, whatever they had to do, and sure enough, they had buried the wrong person, and now Scott is finally in his own resting place. God bless him. And, Scott had this warped sense of humor. He must have got a kick out of this, watching from on high, because what a weird story that is. I hope we're enjoying the stories here. This might be a moment to see if there's any comments, because it would be, I wonder, yes, it says there is comments. I wonder how I can see them. I might have to turn you this way. Comments, slide. Who's here? Oh, hi, Dougal. Thanks for dropping by. And Paul Allums. Oh, man, Paul, how are you? I've been talking to our mutual friend Beery, and had some very nice catch-up with him. And, he was planning to come and visit us. He's especially anxious to visit you. And now he's stuck in Goa. I guess there could be worse places to be stuck, though. I gather Goa is a little bit of paradise there. Celia, hi, how are you doing? And Mick Hall, oh man, an old Townships musician, buddy. The sound, I'm glad you approve of the sound, because thanks to my new friend Guillermo, I've actually got a little reverb happening. I've got a better sound on the guitar. I've got multi-screens here. I think I've upped the ante. I've raised my game. And Abby, how are you, man? Oh, and Roseanne, hello, Roseanne. Well, I got some visitors. Isn't that nice on a Sunday afternoon? Let me think of another song that... Okay, here's one that was kind of controversial. I even commented at times that I'm writing these songs about musicians, but those musicians are not even interested in hearing these songs, and I think this is one of those situations. But I did get to play it with him one time. My buddy Paul Reddick, we had done a lot of duo gigs way back when, and we were on the same record label. And at the time, that was Northern Blues Records, and at the time, the label was running into financial difficulties. I think the boss, Fred Litwin, was ready to pack it in, and but just at the right moment, a song that Paul had written gets picked up for a Coca-Cola commercial, and it's big time. USA Coca-Cola commercial running on the Super Bowl. Speaking of which, and so it brought in some hefty royalties. And Fred told me that was that kind of enabled him to just keep going and make a few more blues albums, and so. Of course, I was inclined to document that little adventure. I haven't played this one in a long time. This is on the album Overqualified for the Blues, which you probably can't buy anywhere, but you can download it and listen to it everywhere. But I should make it available. I still have a couple of boxes of that album. If anybody wanted Overqualified for the Blues, it was a great album made in 2005. And here's another story about that album. At the end of the recording sessions in Montreal, it was just me and Michael Jerome Brown. And that happened to be, we probably would have canceled the session because we were basically done. But that was the day that Fred Litwin was coming down from Ottawa. The label president is coming to a session. He wants to sit in. He wants to see how it's going. And so he's there in the control room. And I'm there with Michael Jerome Brown. fabulous, brilliant musician who's getting international renown these days. And Michael and I look at each other and say, well, what are we going to do? And so we just jammed out this long instrumental piece, and it sounded great at the time. The engineer gave me a copy, just a quick copy right off the board from that day, and I held on to it, but it was 10 minutes long, and it was an instrumental, and no, that was not going to fit into a commercial release on anybody's album, so it went on the shelf. And now when I'm putting out this album that I just put out, by the way, which you can buy at brianblaine.bandcamp.com, and if I didn't say it in enough places, this is Bandcamp Friday. They do a good thing on Fridays. The first Friday of the month, if you go to Bandcamp and buy an album by whoever, they forego their commissions, and all the money goes to the artists. So it's a little extra bonus for the artists. And now I decided, so it was kind of a short album that we had recorded this time, maybe more of an EP. But then in the middle of it, I decided, wait a minute, I just wrote a song about the mother I just discovered through DNA ancestry. You could hear all about that in the song, The Mother I Never Knew. And now I still thought maybe there's a way to recycle that track and the instrumental. I had used it as a background for a little YouTube video, but now I thought, this is the time when people are really looking for something more meditational, even on a blues album. I thought this could fit, So the album now ends with this 10-minute instrumental, just myself and Michael Jerome Brown. And we're playing... you'll hear it for yourself. You can hear it anywhere. Like I said, it's out there. But if you wanted to purchase the album, go to brianblaine.bandcamp.com. And so this album that I'm talking about, the one from 2005, was called Overqualified for the Blues. And now the song I'm about to do was on another album called New Folk Blues. And that's something I recorded with George Kohler on bass, and then we added a lot of instruments later on and came out with New Folk Blues 2.0. Man, I'm getting all mixed up here with my albums. 3 albums. What a discography. I got 5 albums out. They're out there somewhere. So now this one, like I said, it's been a while, but and I don't have nails anymore either. Oh no. If I get adventurous, I might even turn on the looper for this one. Well, my label president is looking sad. There's bills to pay and business is bad. Brian Blaine's sales have been pretty thin. If they send me a statement, I'd be owing them. There even came a day when they might shut down. Then a miracle happened and things turned around. That was the day. That was the day. That was the day. The day Coke saved the blues. Let me tell you the story of Northern Blues. How a guy started a label and refused to lose. Signed a few artists 'cause he liked their sound. threw a big party, invited the town. We thought the party was over till Paul Reddick was able to write a catchy tune that would save the label. That was the day. That was the day. That was the day. The day Coke saved the blues. Stop that. Oh boy. I don't know how this is going to work, but let's. I don't think I can loop it. But we could try something else here. No, we can't. Well, if your song gets picked for a TV commercial, take the money, sit back, enjoy the residual. If you're a songwriter, don't think it's wrong. If a music supervisor likes your song, you might even get lucky and get out of debt. Like the day Coca-Cola wrote that check. That was the day. That was the day. That was the day. The day Coke, I'm talking about the real Coke, not that Diet Coke, not that Zero Coke, not that nasty Coke. I'm talking about the day Coke saved the blues. I wonder how many percentage of processing power I'm cooking here. I'm hearing a little bit of extra activity on the. Oh, look at that! Oh yeah, my processor is overheating here just on the Ableton. But I want you to hear what I was going to try to do. We'll see how many people drop out after a bit of this. I like it, Joel. That's a little psychedelic. Well, folks, thanks for joining me. I'm going to leave you with one more tune about another musician that made a big impression on me and on anybody else that ever heard him. His name was Lenny Breau. And I wrote this tune many moons ago because I had the opportunity to play with Lenny at a little impromptu jam session. And I remember it well because the guy had such a light touch, you know. You really had to strain to hear what he was doing. And the other person jamming was a legendary banjo player by the name of Humphrey Dump Truck. And to try to jam with Lenny Breau and a banjo player, it was a challenge, but Lenny could do anything. He could fit into anything. He was a brilliant musician and a beautiful cat. And when we were doing our campfire jams back in the before the plague, the pre-plague days, up at the old mill, such great memories, all the fabulous musicians that joined me there. And we would mostly finish the night with this tune, and I'm going to finish this here Blaincast, and I'm going to practice with this new setup a little bit, and I'll be back. Can't say when, but thanks for joining in. Robert Davis, great to see you. David Cox. I wonder if my synthesizer craziness scared off too many people. Joel, why don't you show your face and say hello to the folks before we say goodbye? Or maybe I didn't give you permission to show your face.
Hello?
I hear you.
Maybe you can't see me.
But I don't see you.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll show up here. Oh, wait. Something's
Hello?
happening. I see your desktop. I hear horrible noises. And I think that's you in the corner of the corner. Well, that's my son Joel, who was helping out here, and I want to especially thank Guillermo, who was back there behind the scenes. I'd pull him up to say hello too, but he's kind of shy, I guess. He's probably off doing another broadcast right now anyway. Thanks, Guillermo. This really
You know,
was
Dad.
good.
You know,
Yeah?
Dad's Friday, eh?
Yeah?
Not Sunday.
There he is.
You said it was Sunday.
Isn't it Sunday?
No, it's Friday.
Oh, sorry. Holy smoke. And I've got like a Sunday dinner planned. You know, nowadays, I'm sure I'm not the only one that gets mixed up about what day of the week it is, you know, because
No.
it's just all a big old blur.
It's Groundhog Day.
Well, maybe Joel doesn't get mixed up. He's back to school now, so it's weekends off and all of that, eh?
You got it.
All right, Joel, you're a little jumpy there, but nice that you dropped in. And enjoy your weekend. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. And I'll leave you with this little tune about Lenny Breau. Last time I saw Lenny, we were driving in a Winnipeg rain. He's gonna play at some park concert. But first a stop at Long and McQuaid. We got rained out, the concert canceled. So we went up to Dick and Sandy's to jam. How Winnipeg loved Lenny. He was their music man. But But then he moved to Nashville, and later on L.A. Breaking into the big time and making him a name. Ah, the sound of his harmonics would make the most bitter picker smile. And when he died, we lost his presence. But there'll always be a Lenny Breau style. Some people often wonder what these musicians are about. Ah, but the music keeps on trucking. That's why we took this route. I remember someone told me, I repeated to my wife, some people live for music, but musicians play for life. Some people live for music, but musicians play for life. And we're going to keep on playing, even when we have to play to a screen. But we're all hankering for the day when we can have a beautiful audience sitting in front of us. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.